Hello, my name is Cherokee, and the purpose of this video is to discuss what qualities and dispositions I believe I have as an educator, what qualities and dispositions I believe I need to work on as an educator, and what qualities and dispositions I believe an educator should possess already. The dispositions that I believe to have as a future educator is one of them is definitely compassion. I'm very compassionate. I love teaching. I love my students. I wake up every day excited to do what I do when I was teaching, and I enjoyed every aspect of it. The lesson planning, the teaching, being in the classroom with the kids. I genuinely have a passion and a drive for it. I also have a very healthy respect for my kids and my students, knowing that they are people. They're little people, but they're people. They have individual personalities, they have autonomy, they have all these things that make them human. And so when I go into teaching and I go into problem solving or helping them to self-regulate, I always take that into consideration, that what might work for one kid may not and probably will not work for the other. So I take time to learn my students, to learn their personalities, to learn their dispositions, to be able to better help teach them, to be able to better help make them into a person, to be able to help to just self-regulate, to know how to feel emotions and to be human. I'm very fair with my students. I believe in sharing, but I don't believe that sharing means that you get it when you want. You have to genuinely wait your turn. I believe in giving them a realistic worldview, even at 4 years old, but it's on a 4-year-old level. I don't sugarcoat things a whole lot. I don't put fairy dust on things and make it make-believe. We have fun. We believe in Santa Claus and the Tooth Fairy and the Easter Bunny, things like that. But when it comes to lessons and life learning, I stick very strong to those things because I feel like that's what's going to also make them better humans and better adults. Dispositions that I believe I need to work on as a future educator, one of them is absolutely reflection. I do a lot of reflection. I do a lot of self-reflection. I do not do a lot of implementation for it. And it's not for not wanting to or thinking that I don't need to. I definitely do. But I am one of those people, I'll go home, I'll reflect on something heavy sometimes, especially if it was a rough day and I had a rough moment, or the students were, ill or aggravated or frustrated, whatever the case may be. I am my own worst critic, and I am the hardest person on myself, especially when it comes to teaching and my students. I will go home and reflect heavy on things after a day in the classroom. If I felt like I could have taught this better, or I could have helped them understand it better. Very different things, but I do not implement them in the classroom. I'm not sure why, but I definitely need the help to work on that. I would like to do that. I would like to implement it in the classroom, because what's the point in reflecting on it if you don't do anything about it? So that is definitely one of the things that I need to work on. And another is curiosity. I am a very curious person, but I don't promote it in my classroom. And again, not because I don't want my kids to be curious, my students to be curious. I just don't ever think about it. I don't think of the opportunity to put it there. I don't think of the opening that they have just in learning in and of itself. But I am a person that believes that we never stop learning. Knowledge is power. You can learn something until you can't, basically. So I definitely want to know how to promote curiosity more in my classroom, and to get my kids, my students, more curious about learning, what they're learning, how we're learning, and things of that nature. What qualities do I believe educators should possess? I definitely believe everybody should have compassion. Everybody should be kind, have a tender heart, and know that we are teaching somebody else's heart outside of their body. We have somebody's angel in our classroom, and even though we do experience behavior problems and we have days where people are frustrated or didn't get enough sleep or aren't feeling well, we have to remember that our students are children, and they haven't spent a lot of time on this earth like we have, and they really haven't learned to self-regulate or to handle their big emotions. So we have to have a gentle heart and a gentle mind, and knowing that they are going to react to things or overreact to things or do things like that. And we have to be patient and kind and have forgiveness in that as well. We have to give our students a lot of grace because they're still learning how to do something we've had 20 plus years experience in. I also believe teachers should have communication with the school board, communication with parents, with their students. I believe that opens up a good bridge to build trust with your school community, with your parents, with your students. Myself included, I am a very big talker. I love to talk. So when I speak with my parents about their students in my classrooms, I'm always very respectful. I'm always very kind. I always have a smile on my face. I always make sure to give a positives, and then if they didn't have such a great day, then I kind of follow it up with that, but I always make sure to end on a positive note. I have built such good communication and trust with the parents of the students that I teach. If I go to them with an issue or I go to them with a problem, I have solutions to fix that problem. And if I don't, I ask them, what do y'all guys do at home that maybe I can implement here and we can find a common ground? My parents trust me and my teaching and what I do in my classroom, that if I come to them with an issue, I'm not picking on their kids. I'm genuinely trying to help. I'm genuinely trying to educate them. I'm genuinely trying to be there for them. And I feel like that is one of the most important things that you should have as an educator.